and I'm with Brian Dyck. You maybe have seen it before. We had Brian on before, and he's going to bring us an update. And he just wanted to share. He started sharing me some things, so I just cut him off and said, okay, let's talk about this on camera.
Sure.
And here he is. So tell me, what's been up since from last year?
Okay, so through the last year, we have spent time in Uganda. I've worked on the third prototype of the tractor that we conceived of several years back. We're at a stage now where we feel confident, we're ready to start producing and putting it into the market.
Wow.
So people are very anxious. They're like, when is this thing coming onto the market? I want to buy one. So, so the market acceptance really seems to be there. We just got to start building one. So it means an expansion on our little workshop. It's sort of an R&D workshop right now, so it doesn't have the capacity to produce much. So that's kind of the next step. The work of developing never really goes away. You know, I mean, there's going to be machines go out in the field. They're going to develop issues that we didn't see, and we'll have to make improvements, right? So
you said you've been testing it in Uganda right now?
Yeah. Well, it's dry season now, so you know the soil has gotten really hard because it's dry, and so once the rainy season begins, then pre-seeding cultivation will begin. Okay. And that's when the tractor will be put into work for real. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's kind of cool. Now, you had mentioned that also a big part of what you're doing is disciple making.
Well, you know, when you can bring some sort of agriculture improvement, it just opens the hearts. Yeah. Right. And so to talk about Jesus, to talk about the gospel, to talk about the fact that we're accountable before God and all those things, something like this just opens the doors for that. But to do business with integrity and ethics, that's a great way to segue into discipleship. Because in many of these developing countries, what they really lack is integrity, and there's corruption, and that's what that's what God dealt with so much in the Old Testament. Corruption, which is oppression and dishonesty, lying, and all those sorts of things. I mean, I saw that so much in my business dealings there. There's great opportunity to speak into those things. So that's where the disciple making comes in. So
that's cool. Now, you said there's different aspects of you're trying to do the farming and that kind of thing. Can you tell us about that?
So we're developing, or we're trying to find that entry point for the poor to have an appropriate level of mechanization, which can greatly ease the labor that's necessary in farming with hand tools, like with a garden hoe. So, but a machine is not a silver bullet. It can't fix the problem all by itself. If you're still using really, really poor farming practices that are hard on your soil and thus producing very, very low low output on your crop, that doesn't really help. It can almost be like putting a noose around your neck, right? Because now you've leveraged a bunch of money to buy this machine, but you haven't been able to increase the yields. So now we've got to talk about soil fertility and best practices. And so we've learned about and are getting ourselves trained up with an agricultural resource produced for the church in Africa called Farming God's Way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there's a curriculum out there. You can go to farminggodsway.org, and they've got all their resources there. They're all at no charge. Cool. YouTube has lots of videos. There's probably 50 or more videos that go into detail on the different aspects of the Farming God's Way method. So,
wow.
Yeah. So
I see you got some things in hand. That's up.
Well, so this is just their logo. Yeah. This is just the logo for Farming God's Way. I just thought I'd take it. This little photo here, just can't really maybe see it on camera so much, but it represents. This is sort of the preparation that they do for ahead of planting corn.
Right. So if you can't see the front, it's got the flat-headed hole where the guys are bent over.
Yeah, that's
making.
right.
Actually, I got it. Yeah. They're kind of going like this here. So you see if I'm in the camera.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's very slow. They're just making holes as they go and then seeding, I guess.
Yeah.
That looks like a larger crop kind of thing.
Yeah, so they're working on about a hectare of land here, but they're only disturbing about 20% of the soil soil. So the reason it's called Farming God's Way, when you think about what they're trying to present technology-wise, is they're saying God, when He farms, what you see in nature is that God He doesn't plow the soil. He doesn't open it. He doesn't expose the dirt to the elements, to the sun, the wind, and the rain. There's always an organic canopy over it. Whether you're in the forest, you see what they call the forest floor. You know, it's decaying leaves and branches and so on. Or out on the prairies here, or out on the savanna, you see that the soil is covered with a root mass and with dead grass. So it protects the soil and provides for a very dynamic ecosystem. And so that's, in terms of the technical reasons they call it Farming God's Way, that's sort of what in a nutshell. But it's a kind of a three-pronged approach. They'll say, and they've got it right, you can't lift people out of poverty without dealing with the spiritual aspects first. The spiritual void that's within their life. It's not only salvation, but it's also, you know, dealing with, in Africa, you know, you've got historical, ancestral type religions. They worship their ancestors. There's witch doctors in every village. So they'll consult them on many things, which is, this is like consulting mediums, you know, and God doesn't approve of that, and so He withholds their blessing. Learning to give sacrificially, like the tithe. That is taught, because God brings blessing with that. It forces us to look outside of ourselves to the world and the needs around us, right? And so that's all part of the discipleship component. But then there's also a management or stewardship component as well. So there they would say, do things on time to a very high standard with minimal wastage, which is what in business we're all trying to do, right? And so that's also added as kind of the third prong into this whole holistic approach to agriculture.
Well, that's pretty cool.
And so, yeah, we want to bring a machine that can reduce labor. We're trying to find a marriage between that and the Farming God's Way curriculum, which is a very proven training tool for improving. They've seen increases in their productivity 10 and sometimes even 20-fold, depending on how poor the farming practices were and how depleted the soil was of nutrients. So it can make it can be a total game changer, not just a little bit of improvement, but a massive improvement.
Oh, that's pretty wild.
So,
is there anything else you want to share with us?
Well,
you updated us up pretty good.
I think so. I think from this year to last, I've spent 14 weeks in Africa again. We're always working on improving that. In order to be there longer, we've got to have more people standing with us, financially and by prayer. So, you know, that's part of what we do here as well.
On that point, you know, maybe if you're in agriculture yourself, particularly, because if you have a heart for those kind of things, maybe this will catch with you and come alongside and stand up with Brian and those who are working with him. And I've seen their machine. You go check on our other interview. Particularly if you go to YouTube or something like that, or Instagram, there'll be videos, so you can actually see that machine. We don't have pictures in action, but you said you have on your website. You got some videos.
We have our own website. It's called appropriatetechnologies.ca. And if you're using a personal handheld device, just scroll down until you find the walking tractor project. You click on that, and it'll take you right to that video. We do have another video on YouTube called the Sudan Walking Tractor Project. And so that can be viewed as well.
So that's really cool. Okay. Well, thanks for joining in with us. We hope you do again, and please do the thumbs up and the subscribes and share this with your friends. We really appreciate that. God bless, and talk to you later.
Thanks,
bye-bye.